Dark, small town secrets. According to Reddit. Number 18. Several young boys, ages 9 to 11, went missing in the village, and it was suspected that a group of boys from the same school were responsible. They were heard talking about it on 2 occasions, about how they kill whoever they don't like. Well, their parents, however, apparently attested that they never let them out of their sight outside of school hours. This group of kids was known for skipping school, to sniff glue and drink alcohol, but their parents obviously denied it. Only one of the 6 missing children were ever found, and they found him in a creek with injuries like he was stoned to death. Police said he fell down the creek accidentally, though. This was about 20 years ago in Europe. Holy bing bong. Number 17. Hello to everyone in the stream. The Garnerville Hits Massacre. Multiple women were murdered at a remote swimming area in an old abandoned quarry. One girl survived, but the killer was never identified. And not long after, a woman was found dead in a storage shed owned by the sheriff at the time. They arrested a black man who was from out of town with no connections to the women and sentenced him to life. Open and shut case if I do say so myself, alright boys? It later came out that the sheriff had been having an affair with the woman, but charges were never filed. I guess he shut her up. Some speculate that the sheriff could be responsible for multiple murders, including the bloody Garnerville Pits Massacre. When you're a big fish in a little pond, I guess all the other fish have to suffer, huh? In the sheriff's fucking storage unit. Oh my god. Number 16. Coal mine country, Philadelphia. Lots of stuff happens. Guy was molesting his daughter and her friend. Went to jail for a few years. When he came back, his house was mysteriously burnt to the ground, with him in it. And it was still better than he deserved. Another guy got caught selling crack to a couple of local kids. Yes, I'm that old. Haha, you gave away your race, white boy. If you think crack isn't still happening, you know, it's only, you know what it is? It's that, you know, Whitey is far enough away from any of the action to where they think only when they don't hear about things is that when it's not happening. It's still happening. You just ain't hearing about it. What the fuck? It's weird. I like to consider myself a shut-in. I work from home. But is my window to the world a little bit clearer than everybody else's? Do y'all need some internet Windex? Y'all just jump online and go to Yahoo and Facebook every day and that's it? The fuck is wrong with y'all? He was found in the middle of the street having been run over by a large vehicle repeatedly. A woman stole some jewelry from her elderly neighbor. She lost her hand in an unknown accident. Man, that's fucking biblical, boy. I will teach you not to steal. You will never steal again. lest you be reminded of your hand. Oh, snap. A guy beat his wife. He left town with 2 hands that were destroyed by a ball-peen hammer. Teenage girl killed another girl's dog over a boyfriend. Come on now, girls. Come on now, ladies. I'm surprised that you ladies ain't out here ruining people's lives by pretending that you're pregnant, even though it's another dude's baby. You know, saying that he raped you so that they could go to prison. Why are you taking it out on an innocent animal? Now she sports a nasty scar across her face and is missing an eye. Damn. Justice is handled locally. Bitch, what kind of creepypasta ass shit are you writing? Where do you live? That's what everybody should be asking. But nobody cares. We're all just along for the spooky ride. Ooh, so spooky. Number 15. I lived in a town of like 500 people. And then add like 4,500 more on top of that. The only secret is the whole system is corrupt. Yeah, it must be exclusive to your town. Do you know what you sound like? You sound like a bitch. You know what I mean? How do people not know how basic they sound? The only secret is the whole system is corrupt, man. One police officer got caught stealing painkillers. Is that it? Basically got reduced and deferred misdemeanor. So in like 3 months it was off his record and he was back to being a cop. This is nothing. The fact that he got charged means the system is less corrupt where you lived than anywhere else. Is that the spookiness of your entry? That someone actually gets in trouble for the wrong that they do? Because a man just got murdered in his own apartment, minding his own business, and a bitch got 10 years, and she won't serve 5 of that, homie. Because he was black, and then his neighbor mysteriously got effed over too. Just rolled up and killed him because he was a key witness. But you upset because somebody got caught with some painkillers. And it's off their record. A cop's son lost it one night, got into a fight with his girlfriend at a bar. My best friend was the bartender and kicked him out. 20 minutes later, he is outside putting holes into the bar with a semi-auto. Amazingly, nobody got hit. Nobody got hit. Ooh, so spooky. No one died, man. What do you know? Y'all have some of the most privileged and gay lives, but the fact that you don't even process that it's not news, it's not something intense to talk about. How is this a secret in your town? Because it's that white. Yo, I sound like I have a chip on my shoulder and I'm totally fine with that, but it's when people, this is like Silver Spoon worthy, where the guy doesn't even know that this isn't something to talk about. I like to consider what happened with Amber Geiger a national incident. A woman, it doesn't matter where you fall as far as the race shit, okay? Let's put that to the side right now. A lot of people racist, whatever, you know what I mean? You know, I'm a black man, I'm used to this. But a dude was in his own apartment, and somebody broke into his apartment wrong and then shot him to death, my dude. And you know that the jury, you know that the dude's family is being coaxed by representatives of the government to make damn sure that they seem apologetic and happy, because we don't want to spark outrage. We don't need the blacks rioting. This is the mentality of the government. And if that wasn't bad enough, they went to the dude that was the key witness, a neighbor, and shot his ass to death too. So, The message is clear. Keep your mouth shut if something happens, right? That's the comedy, and you out here talking about some nigga caught with painkillers. Don't nobody give a fuck about that. Straight the fuck up. Nobody gives a damn. Nobody gives a damn. Jesus Christ. I would prefer a shitty creepypasta about getting a phone call, but then just hearing breathing and going downstairs and talking to my mom. But then I went upstairs and my mom was upstairs. So who was downstairs? Then who was stairs? I'd prefer that to this horseshit that you think is a big deal. Big deal, bro. Pfft. Number 14. Like, honestly, I apologize, but I don't care. I mean, I apologize to somebody who's never been to the channel before that finds this video and is like, oh yeah, I'm in the mood for some spooky stories. And then some guy's just like, one time I saw a cop jaywalking and he got in trouble for it, but it wasn't even a lot of trouble. Oh wow, is that the worst thing you've ever seen a cop do? You know? You can't type in cop underage girl and not get a return from the last week. Do you get what I'm saying? Cop underage girl. No jail time for ex-Cleveland cop who sexted an underage girl. Sexting ain't shit. You know what I mean? It's disgusting. But, you know, he wasn't caught, you know, in a vehicle with the bitch. Female ex-cop arrested for sexually assaulting underage girl. September 12th? Nah. That's way back, ain't it? That's way back, ain't it? This is all pretty. 3 days ago, Howell cop indicted after he was found with condoms. Look. You know what? People here, they want that fun, spooky, right? Is that what people want? They don't want real. They don't want that real life sucks type bullshit. Oh my God. Michelle just brought something to my attention. You guys are looking at the chat from a previous list. That's funny. What about if it was this chat from today? Yeah. Look, it's not my fault OBS has lost its damn mind. Why should I have to refresh that shit? Can you imagine? Can you imagine if I didn't refresh it, it would just be showing you like a past chat? I don't know what to say. Maybe a bit of that last guy got into Soup Cakes. Soup Cakes is like our mortal enemy now. Number 14. I was delivered by a serial killer doctor. I don't remember all the details, but he was killing patients in Canada. How did you survive? That's pretty cool. Because if he was killing patients, he probably could have killed your parent. And if he was killing babies, he probably could have killed you. Now that's pretty intense. Serial killer doctor. I heard nurses like to get up to that. Not all of them, or not even many of them, but there have been some that get their kicks on route murder. They get their kicks on Order 66. Ah, damn. Number 13. In the 80s and early 90s, my town was completely run by dirty cops. Oh shit, they out here stealing the prescription meds. The drugs were run by the cops and the people who didn't do as they were told. No. The drugs were run by the cops, and the people who didn't do what they were told would go mysteriously missing, and eventually, most of them would wind up dead. It took the feds to clean up the place and install a new set of clean cops. I think the spookiest part of this story is that the feds gave a damn. When they come into our town, you know what I mean? Somebody responds, there's a tiny town in New Mexico a couple of years back whose whole police force was dirty. One day they were arrested on various charges, and only law enforcement official left was the police dog, 'cause he's a good boy. Keeping his nose clean, staying out of trouble. Sheriff Dog. Dog. Number 12. Oh, the PS4's on. Man, I should put up a little bit of Borderlands action while I read this next one. How about that? Yeah, talk about something nobody asked for. Yeah. Number 12. A family friend was super drunk. He was walking home and fell unconscious on the road at the bottom of the hill. Another family friend was driving home late, and he heard a thump and a crunch when he went over the hill. He got out of the car thinking maybe he hit a wallaby. All right, thank you, Sydney Wright. He got out of the car thinking he hit a wallaby, so you know he's in Australia, my God. He instead found his friend dead. Oh my God. Everyone decided to forget what he did because it wasn't really his fault. There was no way that he could have seen him asleep at the bottom. Well, the road was dark, and it was at an angle that the headlights would not have illuminated him. It's a bit weird that this has come up because I drove past a super drunk dude just a few hours ago on the way home from work. He was drunk and stumbling on the road, and he fell over and lost his flip-flop. I called the police and told them, and they said that they'd pick him up and take him home where he would be safe. Didn't want a repeat of what happened back in the hometown to that same random drunk guy. I don't know, man. I guess we all have situations where we want to end up drinking, but to me, I just feel like if you're gonna get hammered, man, have some sort of contingency plan to make it back to your bed. Isn't this a big deal? Sentinel is active. The Sentinel sucks. I'm gonna need to move this dude so that the stuff isn't like, you know, it's all dropping in the same spot and it's hard to like see what is what. None of y'all care about this. Let me pause this game. Excuse me. Forgive me. As we continue up this list, is everybody okay? Is anything spooky going on in your life? Or, you know, are you getting picked on by your friends? By your dad? You know, do you need an outlet? I'm just kidding. Not your dad exclusively. Your mom could be picking on you too. Maybe it could be an aunt. Maybe you have like step parents. Maybe your parents aren't in your life, so you have like grandparents, but they're also mean. Maybe it's just your teachers. In a perfect world, only our teachers would be mean because they're taking out the career that I guess they're unsatisfied with on us. Not saying that all teachers hate their job. I'm saying that most teachers end up at a point where I guess the kids piss them off to a point where they need to take it out on all the other kids. And that's the one thing that I can't stand. I made a teacher cry once with that because it was like, why you shoveling all of this crap that you got, you know, issue-wise because of other students onto us? We didn't do anything to you. Unbelievable. Story Wave says, Kyle, just want to say your voice is the best voice that I've ever heard. That's so sweet. What isn't sweet is that I need Vicks on my wish list right now. I really should just go buy some Vicks, but every time I go, I forget, man. So I guess I can blame myself for not making a list like an idiot. But we are doing this list. Keep your big titties at the ready. Number 11. Not so much a dark secret, but my town houses a bombing range that is still in use. What you mean a bombing range? No one's ever met anybody who works on the bombing range. No kids at school have parents who work there. We never see planes or anything, but there is a guard at the gate. What's truly odd is that if you ask a resident about it, we all say the same thing. Oh, that's the bombing range. There's nothing out there. Intriguing. Bombing range like minefield? Someone says bombs have a less than 100% chance of detonating when they hit the target. So there could be bombs out there that are creating a minefield situation. God damn it, with my nose. Thank God for a microphone mute button. As we continue up this list, we arrive at number 10, not far from where my parents grew up, in the town of Skidmore. What is get out of my face? Skidmore, Missouri? Montana. You fuck, you don't know Montana? State is Montana, right?
No, fool! It was Missouri! Why the fuck is M.O. Missouri? Why is it, what the fuck?
Yo, what the fuck? Is Montana a state, you bitch? Kyle, is Montana a state? Oh my god, Montana. Montana is a state, and it would make more sense for MO to be Montana than it would for it to be Missouri. Okay? So I don't make sense. It's not me. That doesn't make sense. What the gingerbread? So whatever. Like I care. Alright? Not far from where my parents grew up, in the town of Skidmore, Missouri, which is honestly a supremely effed up and weird place with sinister stuff going on. Well, isn't that in like the weird part of the US where, you know, if there is cult activity going on, that's where it is, you know? And God bless that area. We don't need to go over there though. The most commonly known incident is from the 1980s when Ken McElroy was shot to death while sitting in his truck with his wife in front of the pool hall in town in broad daylight. Sitting with his wife. It's a good thing I'm not on camera. That would have looked so dramatic. Like I took off my glasses to wipe them off. These aren't even my normal glasses, which means when I woke up, the other glasses must not have been on my face, which means they must have fallen off the back of the bed. And in my haste, I left the room to use the bathroom, coming back only to use the glasses that are on my desk. An anecdote that nobody asked for. Ken McElroy was shot to death while sitting in his truck with his wife in front of the pool hall in town in broad daylight. There were dozens of witnesses who saw the shooting, which came from multiple firearms, but they denied seeing the shooting or who may have been responsible. The news story from the time sort of painted McElroy as a town bully, almost like Biff from the Back to the Future, except he was a violent monster who had beaten over and had a dozen charges of theft, rape of a minor. Listen, this is going to be the most controversial take you've ever heard on this channel, homie. You know? But when you hear about underage bing bong, it is technically rape. Do you know what I mean? But at the very least, you kind of want to hear that maybe the chick was like 15, 16, 17 or something, and that she at least wanted it. I hate this. That sucks. That sucks. And the reason we gotta say it's technically rape is because not just because it's illegal, but because, you know, if we all agree that this is below the age of consent, then that means that mentally they're not in the right place to make certain choices. We know that some are, you know, and can think for themselves, but for the most part, boy, yeah, nah. Let them get to 18, then let them decide. Or whatever is legal in your state or country. But bruh, I'm in love with this story now because it means the juiciest phrase, I'm gonna highlight it. This is the juiciest part of this story right here. Multiple firearms. It means that a town of people banded together and dealt with a problem. My dude, they dealt with a problem and they all had each other's back enough to be like, we didn't see nothing. Whatever happened must have been awful. Wow, man. In front of his wife. So, you know, did it happen so fast that she had no chance to look around? Ken McElroy was shot to death while sitting in his truck with his wife in front of the pool hall in broad daylight. There were dozens of witnesses who saw the shooting, which came from multiple firearms, but they denied shooting or seeing the shooting. And
love you, see.
Hey, man, appreciate you, Lucky 7. You got a tattoo shop in Tahoe, man? That's a pretty hot advertisement right in your name there. Appreciate that donation, my man. Or my ladies. It's a dude. Don't worry about it. He got a business. I'm not saying that women can't have a business. Oh my God. Keep going. Just keep reading. You gotta get out of here. The news story from the time sort of painted McElroy as a bully. And they dealt with that bully, man. Jeez. Remember the wife? She was the one of the rape victims and carried Ken's child at 14 years old? Well, it was a different time back then, so if she was the wife, then she was carrying a child at 14 years old, boy. My God. Boy. Leading up to this town-sanctioned execution, he had the gall to appeal a 2-year sentence for shooting a geriatric grocer in the neck with a shotgun and nearly decapitating him. Let's get this straight. This man took a shotgun to the neck of an old man who works as a grocery store bagger. One more time, guys. If the underage rape wasn't enough for this dude, he took a shotgun to the neck of a grocery bagging old man, nearly decapitating him, and then he appealed it. As if, nah, that wasn't me. So why did he do it? Because the grocer asked Ken's daughter to put back a piece of candy that she hadn't paid for. Well, entitled parent, before entitled parents existed. People are fed up with this rampaging 6'5", 270-pound thug who could get away with rape and wanton violence. So somebody or a group of somebody shot him at least twice and emptied quite a few rounds into his truck. No witnesses, and even his wife, who was in the truck, refused to identify the shooters. And God bless him for it. Whoa. says here that the sheriff just drove out of town after telling them that they should get a community watch together. Bruh, I don't, this is a chilling story right here. Wow. Forgive my shock. As we proceed to number 9. The daughter of the divorced parents was raped to death by the mother's boyfriend. She was 6 years old. Her father was contacting Child Protective Services and presenting evidence that the man was abusing his daughter under her mother's care. Nothing was done about it until she was life-flighted to Salt Lake, where she died of her wounds, and early in the investigation the mother admitted to letting her boyfriend play with her. Cool. Life flighted, by the way, is when the when you're so fucked up that they got to put you on a, and then helicopter your ass to the, It's crazy because, like I said, at one end of this list, we got a story about a dude who was shocked that a cop stole some painkillers and then didn't get into enough trouble for it. And then here we are. We've reached the real world portion of the list. Because it's not just enough that a dude can abuse somebody this young. Do you know what I mean? But that the mother would protect that. That the mother would protect it. There's situations like this going on right now. You have to wonder if the girl were old enough to have a problem with it and hate life, if the mom would just berate the little girl and be like, "Oh, you need to deal with it. This is life. You need to put it all behind you. You need to deal with it. You have to, so you can't tell anybody either because it's family. Blood's thicker than water." You ever deal with your family and they're just irrational? Are they springing shit on you like instantly, same day, expecting you to do all of this crap? Are they suggesting things and then expecting you to follow through with them like it's your idea? Do they mention something like once and then, pretend like, oh, y'all had a real talk about it and it's something that you were considering when it was really a thought that popped into your head? I mean, that this would have been the case. People are terrible, and sometimes not deliberately, inadvertently, through negligence, through an inability to see things from any perspective other than their own. They are selfishly ignorant. They are incapable of pursuing another perspective and uninterested in changing. And that's the scariest thing about some people, is that if you were to try to sit down and explain to them why this is a problem, what another perspective would be like, they wouldn't be receptive to that. That doesn't benefit them. All they care about is being right when they're wrong. And sometimes they know that they're wrong, so their defense is to kick up dust, to move those goalposts, to try to, smoke screen everybody, to try and make them look in another direction. This is sick. And I feel my heart goes out to everybody that's dealing with it in a way where the people that should want to help them are going in the opposite direction. And that kind of sucks. Oh, boy. The worst part is that because the abuser/murderer was part of the tribe, all he had to do was stay on tribal lands to not be taken into custody. I had no idea that's how it worked. So while the long process of an FBI investigation and the FBI jumping through the correct hoops to make an arrest on tribal land, this man walked freely as long as he was on the reservation. Most people rejected the abuser/murderer entirely. But what hurt more is seeing the people who went out of their way to help him. His family tried to open a food truck where the highway passes through the reservation so he could have a job. It earned a large protest considering the size of the town, and a few of the out-of-town people stopped for tacos, so they fortunately had to shut down. The man's cousin was chief, so he was given a job in the dispensary. Some other members of the tribe who worked there walked out on the job and went to the council to try to stop it. Like, people hate this guy and y'all trying to set him up? Fortunately, as of now, the FBI has taken the mother and boyfriend into custody and they're awaiting trial. I've been called for jury duty twice now and it's been canceled each time. Makes you wonder what the hell the holdup is, homie. What the hell is the holdup? What the hell is the holdup? Well, guys, it can't get much worse than that, we tell ourselves as we, look at number 9 on the list. Number 8. In Mom's seaside hometown, there's a decommissioned lighthouse offshore. Even though utilities to the lighthouse have long been disconnected and the building locked, residents have noticed that the beacon will turn on late at night, just for a few minutes, then mysteriously grow dark again. It happens so infrequently that the time of illumination can't be predicted. As I once described here, no one has figured out how or why this happens. Number 7. Boy. A cop was a child molester, and it was widely known. He went with a group hunting in the woods and never came back. Well, high five to those upstanding gentlemen. The Kyle channel does not condone murder, but we can't just sit idly by and allow people to do what we can't allow people to take advantage of people who are defenseless. Okay? Yes, we are civil people and everybody deserves due process, but you know what due process is when everything is corrupt? It's people getting away with things, and then we're supposed to not touch them. So I guess that's the ideal situation, huh? Is that we're supposed to want them to go through the court system, and only if things don't work out, then maybe people should take it into their own hands? I'm not saying that they should. I'm saying that I can understand the mentality of those who might pursue a certain course of action. Because I can tell you that I'm sure if I had a child and something happened to that child and somebody ended up getting away with it because they were a cop or because they were, gifted enough to find and utilize a great lawyer to end up somewhere, where they shouldn't be, which is jail. Or to get out of jail. Boy. What it do? Number 6. The doctor who tried all these wacky treatments to save his young patient from tuberculosis and then became infatuated with her. After she died, he eventually robbed her grave, mummified her, and lived with her body for 7 years before being found out. He did not go to jail, and he lived his years out in town. Oh, I've read about this one. Maybe I should do it for Halloween. I mean, unless it's been done before. That's the thing about YouTube. Everything's been done before. Somebody named Ask Mortician, somebody named Cryptic, somebody named Obsolete Oddity, somebody named Harmon Vlog, somebody named Kendall Ray, complete with, thumbnail where they're reacting in a, awful. Well, if it's all been done before, I think we'll be good. I should do like Dexter and then commit murders, just so I can be the first one to cover them. Hey, look at these old men. Let's hear what Alien and Ricky have to say about nothing. Oh boy. As we continue up to the final 5 on this list, believe in yourself. I returned home from school one day to a very powerful smell of gasoline throughout my neighborhood, and every emergency responder our town had was later found that a father of 3 little girls who was not living there had tucked all 3 girls into bed and slit their throats. He had gained access to the house via dismissing the babysitter, and he tried to blow the place up by flooding the basement with gasoline and calling the mom and telling her to come home. I've hurt the girls. What? You sent a message to the mom saying, come home, I've hurt the girls. Thankfully, the mother went to the authorities instead. If he wasn't successful, my house would have been blown as well. The father turned himself in and has been in prison ever since. The daughters were memorialized with a playground, and the house has been turned down. I'm not sure what happened to the mom, but I've heard here and there that she has found peace in a new town. You slit your 3 little daughters' throats and left them in bed. I don't know what a lot of people consider life to be, but you should consider yourself very lucky to have made it this far. Here's hoping so far you have enjoyed this video. Like it. Here's hoping you've enjoyed the time that we have shared together. Maybe countless hours if you've been here more than 3 days. Like this Dr. Dalek guy. It's gotta be like day number 4 for this guy. Believe in him. Like Naruto. Someday he too will be Hokage. Number 4. Small town of about 2,000 to 2,500 in the Midwest. Suddenly, about 1/4 of the population just ups and leaves. No word, no nothing. None of them had kids or extended family, and none of the papers said anything about it. This was back in maybe the late 80s. It happened when I was pretty young, but I just remember one day one of my teachers wasn't there, and I found out from my parents a ton of people had just left overnight. Most personal belongings were taken with them, but mattresses and furniture were still in their houses. I have no clue what that was about, and I've asked my parents more recently, and they said the rumor around town was that all those people worked for the CIA or FBI and were reassigned all of a sudden. What? But such a large and because yes, the CIA, the FBI, they're agencies with people that are stationed to be part of people's lives, to convince them. You want to know what the best movie out there is? It's called The Truman Show. And if you've ever seen it, it's a wonderful deconstruction of the world in which we all live. Because to someone, we are all Truman. To someone, we are all Truman. And it's funny because I think The Truman Show kind of predates technology as we understand it now, where we would expect cameras to be everywhere. A lot of people don't really understand what the hell's going down in China, but trust me, that facial recognition is on point. And if China got it like that, then America got it better.
Coming out of my cage and I've been doing just garbage.
Kill Prep says, coming out of my cage and I've been doing this garbage. It was only a kiss. It was only a kiss. Here's hoping you're all keeping your big titties nice and jiggly for all of the cameras that are all around you. But the reason I brought up The Truman Show is to say that, nah, dude, there are people that are stationed to monitor. They ain't looking for drugs or the kind of lame-ass illegal activity that you think is a big deal because it would shift what's going on in your life. They looking for stuff that you wouldn't even know is abnormal. And that's probably the coolest part. But the idea that something so insane, I don't care about this town, if this is a true story. I care about where they all got called to. You understand me? Where did they all go? Number 3. My town isn't very secluded, but I think this still works. There's this building that used to be a hotel, and one day this guy shows up and he takes multiple trips going in and out with a bunch of equipment. They found him a little while later in his room. He had assembled an entire guillotine and cut his own head off. Huh. Number 2. Over the summer, there was a guy found hanging from a tree on the sheriff's property. The sheriff disliked this young man and treated him poorly during the incarceration at the county jail. Many witnesses said that the day he got released from jail, the sheriff invited him to his secluded property and told him he could help get him back on his feet. 2 days later, a couple of teenage boys fishing in a creek discovered the guy hanging in a tree. Authorities were notified, no investigation was done, and it was ruled immediately to be a suicide. The boy was a known drug addict with no family or friends, so there was really no one to pressure. The local news wrote a small article, "Man found dead, apparent suicide," and then it was hush-hush after that. It's just one of those things we'll never know about. Well, once again, here's hoping you've enjoyed this list. I love and appreciate you. Hope you're having a wonderful day or evening. I want to start reading some bedtime stories for you, but I'm going to need your help. So Snapchat CYAEL, a creepy story. And if it, well, I won't know if it sucks or not, because I'm just going to start recording it. What if I reach the end of it and it does suck, and I wasted that time? I'll be mad at you. Don't troll me. Don't troll me, bro. Or better yet, drop it in the Discord. Links in the description. Everybody else can read it and decide whether or not it's a good thing that I should share with the whole channel. And aside from that, I wish you all a great evening. It's Will Smith. Oh, shit.
Been a while showing love. I am unkissed in cell.
Aw. Do you have crippling anxiety too? Have you read George Orwell? We live in a society. I can't thank you enough. You say it's been a while. I wonder if it's been a while since you have been in the stream chat, because I can't say I recall your name. But I appreciate and thank you. And all my love is yours. Thank you, Desist. Sorry, I'm like trying to decide whether or not there's like a hidden pun or joke in your name. Desist.io. Desist.io. I don't think so. I apologize. Number one. Well, we had the 32-year-old son of a prominent member of town rape and sodomize a 14-year-old girl. God damn, homie. Notable quotes from the kangaroo court. She was begging for it. You see the tits on that one? How was I supposed to know she didn't try real hard to stop anything? God damn. Wait, why did you're 4chan for Prez, mate? Why do you have a new name? I'll never keep track of anybody if you all make new names. Dude, anyway, he got cut off with a slap on the wrist. Boy, 2 weeks later, he was found by the cleaning staff in a local gym, beaten with a wooden broom handle shoved up his ass. Well, that's what he deserves. Rumor was that it was a group of guys from the high school that jumped him after another chick lured him there. Honestly, a lot of people know who did it, but no one breathed a word. He survived, but left the area and basically was okay. Oh, boy. Someone says this gives me a justice boner. Not me. Maybe a half chub, you know? What are that's like, those are like B-cup titties of justice porn right there. I'm gonna need some C cups, some D cups, and then one boob like a little bit bigger than the other. That's what's up. That's what's up. See, you girls, your boobs are all like, oh, size, consistency. Nah. Give me that, what's that meme with Drake, where it's like boobs that are the same size? Nah. But one boob bigger than the other? Yeah, boy. Aerodil, can you not? This is like, why is everybody always lying in here? Okay, are you trying to make your own spooky, story in the chat by being a liar? Because you can't get away from them. Is that what you're trying to do? That you're trying to do the whole no matter what you do, you can't get away from the liars. They're everywhere. Maybe it is a poignant, observation that no matter what we do, they're in our midst. They're all around us. So, I guess govern yourselves accordingly, guys, based on that fact. Killed and dismembered the daughter. This is a public freakout. The judge allows a woman to have a face-to-face confrontation with the man who dismembered her daughter. I want you to think about what it's like. I want you to think about that. It's always cute when like the parents do this stuff and they like thrust pictures and stuff in the dude's face. Bitch, he cut the hoe up. And if he does pretend to have emotions in court, it's more just him caring about the fact that he's like going away for a long time. He don't care about what he did to this bitch. You know what I mean? Forgive me for calling her that. In his mind, You know, I want you guys to understand, cutting up a body is a time-consuming thing. And it's not easy. It's not easy to cut up a body. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the easily intimidated. It's not for somebody who doesn't want to get messy, you know? A lot of us, we consider ourselves men. We consider ourselves cold and clinical. We consider ourselves unfazed because we've seen worse. You know what I mean? And it's true. A lot of us, maybe we wouldn't be fazed. Cut up a body, whatever, you know? But a lot of us don't want to get dirty. Do you get what I'm saying? We don't want to get our hands, you know, soaked. And not just the blood of a man, but the meat. The meat of a man. Some coroners, they spend time in the midst of a dead body and that aroma can't get out of them. When that's your profession, bitch, you got some of the best oils and colognes from a Persian man, because that's the only way people aren't going to smell it upon you. But the bottom line is this. If you were going to start cutting up a body, you'd probably stop. Doesn't really matter who you are. You'd probably not make it too far cutting up a body. To get through all of it, you probably need to like it. You probably need to have a kink, a fetish for doing this kind of crap. And this is the saddest part when I watch this mom, is that she's like, look what you did, look what you did. And I assume it's like therapeutic for her, you know? And she deserves all that therapy now that she's lost her daughter in such a gruesome way. But she's kind of imposing her mentality upon him. To him, it ain't no thing. To you, it's a big deal. Not just because it is your daughter, but because how can you kill a person? How can you then cut up that person? But he did it. Already did it. You know? And when you look at him, you're forced to wonder, did he endure something worse? That doesn't justify it. You know? I like to separate the people from the things, you know? What he did was bad, you know? He is bad for doing it, but, you know, oftentimes good people do bad things. I'm not calling him good again. He did the crime. He's gonna serve the time. But you have to wonder, if they were to make this dude's life into a movie, what happened when he was younger, you know? Did his daddy bend him over? Did his daddy beat him up? Did his daddy force him to do things that he didn't want to do? Did mommy's boyfriend come over and just abuse the crap out of him? Shit. Doesn't justify it, once again. Like, what I'm saying is, you know, has he endured something? Wonder what the comment section says for the video we haven't watched. The parents got charged with helping him avoid arrest and lying under oath. And his dad is a retired police officer of 25 years. I'm so surprised that they even charged the guy then. Surprised he got in trouble. Someone says, not surprising, only a cop would be cocky enough to try and hide murder. Well, hey, some jackass on this list I was reading today thought that, you know, a cop and some painkillers were a big deal. Where the fuck do you live, boy? I need to call up my man Reality to come over and slap your ass. What the fuck? Number 2 says, this is heart-wrenching stuff. You can really hear the pain in that mother's voice. Well, what do you expect? They lost their kid. What? Everybody's like, what a sick fuck. Death would be better. That's what they said. I didn't say it. What's really going on here? Man.
And close my eyes. and pretend that she is hugging me back, texting me. I would never, never do anything to hurt her. I swear on my life. Do you remember that?
Wow. So he texted her saying I'd never ever do anything to hurt her. You know, the crazy part was I came to public freak out because it's like a subconscious thing, but then we ended up seeing something chilling at the top of it. Pretty cool. I guess there's nothing scarier than the world in which we live. There's always some sort of racism or somebody doing drugs or murder. Holy bing bong out here. I mean, yeah, so what? He's on drugs. He's just an animated performer. I hope he doesn't get hit by any vehicles. He's fiddling on down. He is fiddling on down. Guys, I love you. Keep those titties perky. Do your exercises. You know, stay out of trouble. Believe in yourself. Send me creepy stories. Hello, my man Sean Watson. Death chat. This guy's driving. I love you all to death, and I really just want you to stay out of trouble. I know it can be hard. You guys are living fast lives. I know sometimes you look at the elderly and you think to yourself, fuck, man, I can't have that happen to me. Isn't that scary? But is it scarier than death? Is it scarier than death? A special thanks to Kill Preps. Love you. A special thanks to Desist, who says that they're 4chan. And thanks to all of you for being here. Thanks for liking the video, and I'll see you again soon. Bye. Should I end with this? Should I put that at like the end of it? No? I don't know.